The thing, Bernarda, that sticks out to me as I listen to all of this testimony from this former friend, and really the sound that we heard in court this week from Lori Vallow's only surviving son, is that she's flippant about the fact that her children are dead or that those around her are dying one by one. And she almost is like cackling and like nervously laughing in some of that. Is that something that you're noticing too when you hear her voice on some of these recordings?
Absolutely. And it's very troubling because you got to think that these are two kids that were killed. And either way, if she claims that she wasn't responsible for it, it's still her children that we're talking about. What was really troubling and what's compelling in this case was the testimony of the only living son, and that being Cody. And that recorded phone call with Cody, she even started laughing at some point when he's at anguish. He's emotional. He is upset about what's going on, about where's JJ, where's Tylee, why did this happen? Why didn't you tell me anything? Why didn't you speak to me? Why did you hide this? But yet she's laughing and just emotionally detached about what's going on.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Let's play a little bit of that testimony. This is from Lori Vallow's only surviving son, Colby Ryan, in court this week. Let's listen.
She appeared calm, very non-emotional, was kind of hanging out and seemed to be just having kind of some general conversation, not really upset, just kind of at one point she was laughing.
She told me that he had died from a heart attack.
From a heart attack?
From a heart attack.
Okay. Did she say anything about him being shot?
No. I saw Alex sitting on the couch watching TV. He was wearing a white bandage around his head. I asked him why he was wearing the bandage, and he said that he got hit in the head with a bat and then shot Charles.
Did you see Lori Vallow that night?
Yes.
What was her general demeanor?
Calm.
All right, so that was a piece of sound from the detective talking about after her husband had been shot by her brother, that she had a calm demeanor. I want to play now for people the sound from Colby, which is Lori's son, and their conversation when he confronts his mom.
What did she tell you about Charles Vallow's death?
She told me that he had died from a heart attack.
From a heart attack?
From a heart attack.
Okay. Did she say anything about him being shot?
No. I saw Alex sitting on the couch watching TV. He was wearing a white bandage around his head. I asked him why he was wearing the bandage, and he said that he got hit in the head with a bat and then shot Charles.
Did you see Lori Vallow that night?
Yes.
What was her general demeanor?
Calm.
All right, so compelling, I wanted to play it twice. Bernarda, thank you, and my apologies that I went to that a second time. But I do think that his testimony really stands out of all of the things that we've heard. This is a son confronting his mom. In that clip, he describes her as calm, but in other clips, he is angry at her and she laughs at him. For the jury to listen to this, is this the most damning thing that they have heard so far from a prosecution witness?
So I think the testimony from Colby is one of the most damning pieces against Lori Vallow. You got to think that in this case, there's no direct evidence that Lori Vallow killed these two kids and killed Tammy as well. What we have here is a lot of circumstantial evidence. But when a jury hears someone that is so close to the defendant, the son of the defendant, his emotion and how he confronts her with so much possessed in him that she is guilty, that she is responsible, I think it goes a long way. Also remember what he testifies to, that he had been texting Tylee, and at that point she had already been dead or had been missing, and the person that was responding was Lori Vallow. So he was being tricked by her, by his mother. So that just goes to show you so much emotion, deceit, all of this consciousness of guilt, that all's going to play a role in the guilt, finding the guilt of Lori Vallow.
Well, and the other thing that was interesting, those in the courtroom said said that while he was testifying, he didn't look at his mom at all, but she was staring straight at him. And then when he went out of the courtroom, he sort of like disgustingly glared at her. It just shows you the inner workings of this relationship and what those two are feeling right now. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.